have a coffee. I've posted the Bowen Kingsley emails because we mostly talked on WhatsApp, but I deleted them, obviously blocked them and deleted them. But you'll see the conversations because I needed a paper trail in here. Interestingly, as I was editing, cutting down the photos and trying to erase his email address and that, my phone shut off. And there's only 3 people who would have reason for me not to want to put these emails out if they're watching what I'm doing, because they hacked my phone, is Chris Martin or Elon. So it narrows down who Bowen Kingsley is. I don't think it would have been Chris because Chris has an actual job that he wouldn't have had the time to talk to me in the conversations I was having, but it wouldn't surprise me if Chris didn't know who Bowen was. But I really intuitively don't feel it was Chris. I originally thought it was Rocio, but now, having time gone by, I think it was either Martin or Elon. And what you need to remember is, in this video that he sent me, it was a professionally made one. It had soft lighting, it had billowing curtains, it had like beautifully arranged flowers, it had that kind of soft, moody sort of high value production, shall we say, with a little girl that this person had access to. He had immediate access to it. It was sitting on his phone. And he was able to just bring it up and have immediate access to it, and then tried to blame it on this person that he worked with called Joy. And what it means is Chris Martin and Elon are watching. They've watched me watch this video. They're watching me edit stuff on my phone, and they didn't want me getting these emails up. Although, like I said, I don't think that Bowen was Chris. I originally thought it was Rocio, but now I'm thinking it either had to be Martin or Elon. But I have videos of Elon on Epstein Island with young girls. I have a video link that I put up. I've got a video about it. I'll put it in the description box below because Iran actually dropped an Epstein video with Elon in it, where he's grabbing a child of about 6 or 7 years old. So I suspect that it's probably Elon, but if it's not Elon as Bowen Kingsley, it's Martin because of the name, the Bow King, because they're all about, it's all in the names. Names are important to them. And so the name Bowen Kingsley would mean hitting the mark, being the king at hitting the mark. And I believe that they tried to embed that into my phone so that it would look like that I was involved in, because they were trying to smear my campaign because I'm a freedom fighter for human trafficking. I'm a whistleblower for human trafficking. I'm one of the original whistleblowers. I'm the reason why Elon Musk and his grok and that are under investigation for making the pornographicals of the children on grok and all that. I'm the original whistleblower. So anything to make me look like the bad guy, because narcissists always accuse you of the things they're guilty of. And I'm telling you now, because this video was burnt into my brain, this was a professionally made one. This wasn't someone making it with their phone. This had camera angles. For the few seconds that I watched it, once I realised what it was, because it originally was just like this little girl laying on a table, but it was like, it was a nice table, and there was like floral arrangements, and it was moody lighting, and there was like this billowing curtain. It was professional. It looked like, like Days of Our Lives, or like dynasty or something, just like that, but recently made. But you know how it has like the soft lighting and the moody angles and all that? It was just like that. And the perpetrator was not the one holding the camera. There was someone else holding the camera. It was professionally made. The sort of stuff they made on Epstein Island. And this person had access to it. So either it was Martin, like I said originally, I thought it was Rocio, but I'm inclined to think it was Elon Musk, was Bowen Kingsley, because this Bowen Kingsley was African as well. And then, yeah, as I'm cropping the photos, my phone switches off. My phone doesn't usually switch off this early in the morning. So that gives you an indication right there that it probably highly likely to be Elon Musk or Martin. He's a Latin king. As far as I know, they're not usually known for child trafficking and, you know, child exploitation videos and that sort of thing, and he's a Latin king, which is, you know, Bowen Kingsley, the Bow King, hitting the mark, the king of hitting the mark. So that's why it could have also been Martin. But then I'm thinking, message in a bottle. Remember when she sings and smashes the bottle and stands up and the people realise that she was protecting children under her grass skirt, and that he knew she was protecting children and he was hurting the children, and the people come and grab Tardowski by his feet and drag him to the courts, and he gets sentenced to prison and thrown onto that into that box surrounded by lava. Well, I just stood up. You've just seen what I was hiding under my skirt. And remember in that, he was setting up a pipeline to feed oxygen into her bottle because he knew she was getting too big for her bottle. So he was trying to still feed her air so that he could make money off her magic while keeping her trapped in the bottle. Symbolic for controlling her every movement, which is what Elon Musk is, and that's what they're doing with my phone. They, you know, they mess with my social media, they mess with my connection, they control they mess with my bank account. That's why I'm too scared to apply for a passport online. I can do it on paper. I just need to find somewhere that can print the application forms off. I just don't know how my witness would sign the photo. I might have to ask the New Zealand Embassy. But somebody didn't want me putting those emails up. And the only person who wouldn't want me putting those emails up, who would be watching me at before 5 o'clock in the morning, would either be Martin, Chris or Elon. But I don't think Chris was Bowen Kingsley. I think it was either Martin or Elon. I'm thinking more Elon because of the video that I have of him with the little girl on Epstein Island. But it could also be Martin. But I'll let the courts decide because they keep forgetting that I'm being watched. The people they brought in to watch me are the people that are going to have them arrested. And I did have that dream many years ago where Martin was arrested and his laptop and phones were taken off him and he was thrown into a FBI van and people were smashing his van. Like, he got beaten up, him and Nikki and all that, they were beaten up. And I was looking at their mugshot photos on the news. So, yeah. So my suspicion is it's Elon who just shut my phone off because he saw what I'm doing on my phone. But it could also be Martin, was Bowen Kingsley. One of those two didn't want me putting those emails out. because of the video that I just made. So, but it's all right because I know that they get caught. So I just have to bide my time. Everything they do is more evidence against them. And because Martin has already done 11 years for murder and robbery and all that, although he didn't actually commit the murder, he was charged with accessory to murder or something. When they find out what he's in prison for this time, he'll have to go in the box for his own protection. Especially because he's a king. He's not just a Latin king, he's a king. He's King Ace. So this won't go down well. Because Archimedes' bow, reverse engineered portal, everything you send to me or Russia will just bounce off us and come straight back to you, which is what's just happened. I had no intention of making this video. I was just quite happy to just make that last one and walk off and edit the photos and that, but because he switched my phone off, I thought, oh, that's either got to be Martin or Elon not wanting me to put the emails out. So now it's bounced back. You see, Archimedes' bow. And they forget that there's law people watching. They forget that they brought people in to watch me, but the people watching me are the people taking notice of everything they're doing, and because it's all documented, it's all coming back on them because Archimedes' bow. That's what I call my reverse engineered portal. When the energy bounces off the sun or bounces off the light, Archimedes' bow is also, Elon Musk's space lasers. How he fires the space lasers down into the solar panels to cause droughts and kill off the farmland, from the heat. Because he's my doppelganger, he's the evil version. My version is the energy you send towards me bounces off, or whoever I've put the protective bubble over, like Russia, bounces off us and hits you. Because we're like, the quantum menace, the battle of two worlds. His world is the evil world, my world is the good world. He lives in darkness and evil and death and terror. I live in rebirth and healing and creation and life and nature. You see what I mean? Because he's my doppelganger. But everyone who has a doppelganger, theirs is the opposite. They're the polar opposite. So his Archimedes' bow is to kill off the planet. My Archimedes' bow is to save the planet. And so by him doing that, it's just bounced off me and sent the arrow straight to him. Can't be denied. So he has essentially caught himself out. Either Martin or Elon has. But I'll leave that up to whoever's watching to decide. So there you go. It's all exciting, eh? They keep messing with my phone, and every time they do, I just power up even more. I just go up. And more gets exposed. I love it, because they're idiots. The dark side, they're not very smart. They don't use logic. They can't think logically. They can't use things like reason and compromise, and they have no common sense. So because they're a bit like not just mentally ill, but they have brain damage. Their dorsolateral prefrontal cortex is either underdeveloped or brain damaged. But the both of them, I know Martin and Elon, used to get the shit kicked out of them by their parents. They used to get beaten quite badly by their parents, so it's brain damage. See, whereas my brain damage came from narcissistic abuse, I'm healing it, and my hypothalamus is starting to grow and heal. So I'm healing from my cortisol spikes. But they can't heal their brain from the damage, from the beatings that they took. And in turn, it's caused them to be evil. They're psychopaths. And psychopaths have brain damage. So, yeah. That's all right. They can keep doing it. They switch the hours up now as to when they're going to switch my phone off, but it doesn't matter what time they do it. The time they do it is inconsequential. It's the fact that every time they do it now, I get more powerful. And God just pulls more and more and more of the veil back as to who they are and what they're doing. But this time, they've stepped into being connected to the admittance of having access to child pornography. Like it's in writing that they have access to child pornography. You see it in writing. He admits he's got access to child pornography. And this little girl was about 3 or 4. And in the Elon Musk video that Iran leaked at the start of the Epstein war, the girl's maybe about 7, 8, 9. I'll put a link in. But yeah, it's an admission of having access to child pornography. And like I said, this was big budget stuff. This wouldn't have been a cheap video to make. I can't remember if there was music though. There may have been music. I just remember the billowing lace curtain because it was like a French door that was open. The sun was shining, you know, and the camera pans to the poor little girl on the table. She obviously was used to it because as soon as the man entered the frame naked, the first thing she did was put her legs up. And you wonder why I'm not going to stop at anything to get these bastards. That's our Prime Minister. That's America's president. That's Ukraine's president. That's von der Leyen. That's Macron and Merz. All these people are allowing that to happen. That's Elon Musk. That's Christopher Black, who's an art director for a games company. That's Martin Arche. God knows what he's doing, but he's a Latin king. He runs a chapter of a gang. And they all have access to this stuff and allow it to happen. And in Starmer and Trump's case, and Bill Gates and Elon Musk, they fund it. And von der Leyen and Zelensky. Zelensky gets paid to give them access to these kids, like in the little girl that I saw. And people wonder why I stop at nothing to hold them all accountable. Oh, I'd never do that. I'm Elon Musk. I've got Asperger's syndrome, and I'm just acting all like I'm like socially awkward, and I'm too genius for my own brain, and no, you're not, mate. You steal everything from it. You haven't come up with an original idea ever in your life, other than let's go after Debbie. You haven't invented or created or designed nothing. You mirror people. You steal from people. The one thing you're good at, though, child pornography, mate. And that's why I blew the whistle on you with X and your grok. And you even made images of your own daughter, Vivian, to promote your grok images, or grok imagine, or whatever. I call it grok a shit, so I don't care. That's the only thing you're good at making is child pornography and the sexual exploitation of children. And I'm not going to stop, Elon Musk, until you're held accountable. And everybody you got involved, like Martin and Chris and Nikki and Rocio and all the rest, and they'll go down with you. Keir Starmer, von der Leyen, Zelensky, everybody you got involved. The fake Yodok cellos, Night World, All you do is sit on your ass and pretend to be cool, but the truth of the matter is, mate, nobody likes you. And the only people that give you the time of day are the vapid, ignorant, uneducated, stupid people who think that greed is the way forward. But these are the people whose breeds will die out because they're not thinkers and creators and doers. They're copiers and mimics and thieves, just like you, because like attracts like. Nobody likes Elon Musk. He is hated as much as Keir Starmer and Donald Trump. And you can go around saying you're a trillionaire all day long, mate. It doesn't mean nothing if it's not tangible assets. A real rich person can prove in their hand where the wealth is. And if you have debt, you're not worth trillions. If you owe billions, you're not worth a trillion. If you were worth a trillion, you'd have it in the bank, you'd be able to withdraw it in cash, and you wouldn't owe billions in debt. So it's all imaginary. It's all in your head, mate. Just like everything else. It's all in your head, and quite frankly, Poppet, you need psychiatric help. What you wanted for me, because I was whistleblowing on people like you, is what needs to be done for you. You need to go away into a facility for the criminally insane, just like Chris and just like Martin, because you are the three kind of men who aren't safe to be out on the street. Women are not safe around you, and children aren't safe around you either. And people like you three need to be put on an island like Napoleon, where you have no access to anyone, for the criminally insane. Because anybody who thinks that what they do to women and children is an act of self-righteousness aren't right in the head. And I totally hold your parents responsible for that. Because, I mean, look at your father. He created the monster that you are. But your mother worshipped the monster that you became. Because she's a monster herself. Because we all know about, what is she supposed to be, some high priestess bollocks? Well, it's not working. Her occult knowledge can't be very good. Because his son's the most hated person on the planet. You're a laughing stock. You're a joke. And you can't stand the fact, for all the money that you have and all the influence that you have, I'm this poor, barefoot Indigenous woman from New Zealand with no education and nary a penny in my bank other than what I'm about to use to feed my boy on Monday. And yet here I am, the most powerful woman in the world, and I have access to the universe and the solar system and the cosmos you will never have, ever in your life, ever. You're a loser, Elon Musk, just like Chris and Martin, because like attracts like. You've stolen from millions of Americans. You've stolen from people in Ukraine, you've stolen from people in Russia, you've stolen from people in the United Kingdom. You're a Nazi, just like Chris and Martin. You're a racist, just like Chris and Martin. You're a sexual predator, just like Chris and Martin. And you can threaten me with all sorts, mate. But it's not going to stop me. I'll just find another way. And every time you force me to find another way, it unlocks more of my DNA and I become even more supernaturally powerful. All you're doing is training me how to be a better version of the last upgrade. You will never be me. You'll have to come back 1,000 lives before you're even allowed to be slightly telepathic or intuitive. You're a loser. And nobody likes you other than the people who think they can get something out of you, like Chris and Martin. And you are going to be exposed, and you are going to be held accountable, mark my words. And you are going to take money out of that bank and put it into mine to pay for everything you put me and my boys through. Just like Chris and Martin and Donald Trump and the British government, NHS, West Yorkshire Police, Sumo Digital, Nikki, Beth, Rocio, Ria, you're all going to pay. You're all going to pay. Money out your bank. I don't care if you've got to sell your bikes, cars, houses, sell your kids' university, college funds, but it's all going in my bank. And then I will share the wealth to my sons and my sister and my nephews who had to put up with everything that you put them through just to get at me. Because I'm such a threat to everything you are. Because you will never be me. Ever. And everything you stole from me, you're going to give me back. Including my movie. And my books. And my products. And my sciences. You couldn't use quantum menace. You couldn't use quantum magnetics if you farted it out in your sleep. Although judging from what I've heard about your medical condition with all the drugs you take, you're really badly constipated, so farting might be an issue for you. Maybe that's why you look so bloated and have to take the Ozempic. But it's not working. Even Donald Trump said it's not working because you're still fat. And like Donald Trump, you've got man boobs. It's hard to tell whether you're male or female, the way your body is, which is probably why you're so threatened by Vivian, because at least Vivian has the guts to stand up and admit who she is. There is absolutely no shame in having a transgender child. In my culture, we call that a twin soul, where you're blessed to be able to live in both worlds. I don't agree with hormones and surgery and all that sort of thing. But if your boy grew up feeling like he was born to be a woman and he wants to dress like a woman, then let him dress like a bloody woman. Who's he hurting other than your pride and ego? Because you can't stand the fact that you don't have the guts to do the same thing, because we all know that you, just like Chris and Donald Trump and all the rest of them who are pro-MAGA, are secretly gay. I have the photos, mate. In the very least, buy. But from what I hear, you can't get it up. Just like Chris. Oh, God. The only way he could get it up was if he used violence or stole it. Tried to steal it. But yeah. Oh, God. So I'm coming for you. But according to Odin, I don't actually need to. They're coming for you, for me. So at some point you're going to get a knock on the door. At some point you're going to get dragged off by angry crowds who realise, holy shit, he has access to child pornography, and then sends it to people. Random people. So thanks for switching off my phone, because then it made me figure out I've narrowed it down to one or two people, but I'm more than likely thinking it's you, Elon. I don't know. I could be wrong. Either way, it's either Martin or you, because I have evidence to prove that both of you have access to my social media and my phone. I mean, I literally have a video of Martin recording himself when my camera turned on, with the Spanish TV program in the background and his kid making the noise. So hopefully these will be grounds for an annulment where I don't have to face his fat face in court. I really want an annulment. I was talking about it the other day. He was probably listening in anyway. But we never consummated our marriage, but he's got kids to other women. He's supposed to be paying me alimony. I don't want none of that. I just want him off my legal documents. I want him erased from history if I can. I think I've done enough to earn that without having to face him in court. A divorce, I don't have to face him in court. An annulment, I do. Do you know the guy that we had to use as our liaison for getting married in prison said to Martin, because he rang me up and he told me, he said to Martin, something along the lines of, you better not be planning anything to use her. You better not be up to anything with her. I hope you're going to do right by her. You better not be planning to scam her or something. Because he rang me up and told me. And now he's got how many kids to how many women? And how many of them have had sex with other men and women because he talked them into it? That's human trafficking. So all his lovers, especially the, and because, you know, the pedophile and the groomer, the pedophile's bisexual, the groomer would sleep with anyone. So he pimps them out and then they bring victims to him. Rocio did. Rocio bought people to Martin and Chris and Elon. So it's the definition of human trafficking. And people wonder why. I'm not going to stop until I get justice and I can save my boys. And people wonder why it doesn't matter what they threaten me with. I'm coming for them. When they shut off one avenue, it just opens up another one. And the new avenue that gets opened up is more powerful than the last. Because when you're forced to have to think outside the box, it makes you smarter. And now I'm just going boom, 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 like on Crackdown, powering up. Zoop, zoop, zoop. So thanks for that. Thanks for turning my phone off at 9 minutes to 5. Because now I've just done all of this and all of this has just come out. So I can't wait to see what happens next. So I'm going to go and have my coffee now. Kettle's boiled. I'll speak to you later. Get ready, Elon, Martin, Chris, all the rest of them. But you especially, Chris and Martin. Elon and Martin. Well, yeah, Chris, Martin and Elon. Just get ready. All of you, just get ready. Because you messed up. You messed up real bad. But it's good for me. I'll speak to you later. Ka kite.